making a play, 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 making a play.
What's up, y'all? Thank you for tuning into another episode of ScorpioTV. This time, I got that prison story that I made that post about a week or two ago. I told y'all I had my first bad inmate interaction at the prison that I'm employed at, which again, I can't tell y'all which prison it is. And also, I can't tell y'all the name of the inmate. But I still told y'all I was going to bring y'all the story. But, per how my job operates, I can't release that information what prison I'm employed at. And that's also kind of for my personal safety and the name of the inmate, which you really can't do that. So about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, I was working the lockup unit and we were doing showers that night. It was a down day. Now, that's something I want to touch on. When you hear down day, you shouldn't be doing shit. But for my specific facility, in the lockup unit, when it's a down day, you still have to do showers. There's no rec, but you still have to do showers, which is, I don't know, that doesn't seem like a down day. But, I digress. It was a down day, so we were doing showers. And I had this range, I had 300 range. For those of y'all who don't know, for those of y'all who may not know, my prison, it has ranges inside of its cell house. They always go up to 500. And on each side is usually the same amount of cells, except usually the flag, which is the first floor, the one all the way at the bottom. And I was on 300 range, and it's weird because the east side of a range could be worse or better than the west side. This particular side, the east side, is worse than the west side of that same range. And I got to this guy. Now, this guy is notorious for if you don't do what he asks for, or if you don't do what he tells you to do, he will get belligerent, start cussing you out, all that shit. The thing about me that some of y'all may not know, some of y'all may know, especially if any of my fellow officers and co-workers, past co-workers watch this, y'all know I have a very strong I don't give a fuck attitude. So you can say whatever you want to me, it's not gonna bother me. Because 9 times out of 10, you're saying this shit out of anger and you're trying to get a reaction. I don't give people what they want when it comes to a reaction. Because now you could try to use that every time you don't get your way, or just when you want to try to piss me off and shit like that. I'm not going to give you the reaction you want because I don't care. So talk all the shit you want as long as you don't put your hands on me type shit, right? So I get to this guy's cell and he's being belligerent and all this extra shit, cussing me out, cussing any of the other officers and staff members such as nurses and all that comes on that range out. So he's being very hostile. When you're hostile, we can refuse you a shower. Because the moment, even though you're cuffed up, the moment we cuff you up, bring you out the cell, who's to say you won't try to spit on us, even though you can do that through the bars, or try to headbutt us, or try to run off, or some shit like that. So that gives me the right, or any other officer the right, to refuse you a shower if you're already being belligerent when we get to you. Even before we get to you, if you're being belligerent. Now, if you've calmed down, you could get your shower, because technically they are supposed to get a shower unless they refuse. Now, this specific inmate has refused on multiple occasions from what I've been told. I don't work the lockup unit that much, so I don't know if that's really how it goes, but that's what I was told, so I went with it. He wanted a shower, but he was talking real crazy. Like calling everyone bitches and all this shit. He was slamming his hands on the bars and, man, y'all better let me out this bitch and shit like that. Like, so he was being very, very hostile. So that was my range, and they tell you to run the range how you want to run it. So I decided I'm not going to take him out because I don't feel like dealing with his bullshit tonight. The night had been decent as fuck. It was quiet. It was smooth. We always getting our showers knocked out on our ranges. Like, it was sweet. And I didn't feel like dealing with him. So, I told the sergeant, like, hey, I'm going to pass him up on a shower. I'm good. At least until he calms down and he could give me his word as a man that he's gonna be cool. He ain't gonna do nothing stupid. So I ain't gotta spray him or take his ass to the ground or whatever it is. And he wasn't on that. So the moment I went to the guy next to him to cuff him up and put him in the shower, that's when the onslaught of racism started. This man legit called me every racial slur in the book, including ones that he made up himself. Obviously, the first thing he called me was the N-word. Like, not with the A, with the hard R, Nigger. He called me that multiple times. I've been on this earth 27 years, soon to be 28. I have never in my life been called the N-word with the hard R. Especially in such an aggressive manner. Like, me and, other black officers I work with, we have a dark sense of humor, but even we don't, call each other that, right? So, for this guy, it's an older Caucasian male. It's hard to pinpoint him with the age. I want to say probably between, like, mid-40s to, like, lower 50s. So, like, maybe somewhere between, like, 45 and, like, 52 or some shit like that. I digress. So, obviously, he's stuck in his ways. So, when he's being nice to us, that's phony. That's not authentic. He's just doing it because we're doing stuff for him that we should be doing anyway. He called me the N-word. He called me a slur that he had to come up with because I never heard of it. He called me a baboon boy. And then he went on with, like, the normal insults. Oh, you should go back to picking cotton. I'm going to make you get on your knees and clean my shoes and, all this weird shit. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm actually laughing. But the other inmates that's on both sides of him down the ranges, they're also hearing this. And even the white dudes, the white inmates, they was like, hey, man, I don't fuck with people like that. He's like, man, you should let him out of his cell, and I'll beat his ass for you. Like, especially the black inmates, they definitely were trying to get on him. Which, I mean, that's understandable. But here's the thing about it. It's the lockup unit. So the only time you get out of your cell is for a shower or to go outside to rec. If you want to go out to rec or take a shower. That's completely up to you, but we still have to ask you legally. And if you have some type of medical issue or you get sprayed or tased. The thing is, with all these racial slurs, I'm laughing this shit off, right? Because it's funny to me. Because it threw me off. I won't lie. It threw me off that he called me this. Because I had always told that he got belligerent. I had never told that he was going to get racist. And again, the shit was funny to me. It's funny because it's like a child. He was like a grown-ass child. Like, you didn't get your way, or you acted up and you don't want to take accountability for your actions, so you throw a temper tantrum and start cussing and fussing and doing all this extra shit. That's not going to make it no better. I come back a little while later because the guy after him that I put in the shower, he called out that he was done. So, cuffed him up, took him out the shower, put him back in his room, locked his door, uncuffed him, went to the dude that's after him. At this point, he starts to get threatening, the racist dude. And he starts saying he was going to spit on me. He started saying if he got out the cell, he was going to beat the fuck out of me. And he also said he was going to harm any other officer or sergeant or whoever went on that range and whatnot. So now you're threatening. Now we have to take it a step further. The sergeant went up there and told him, you know what? You're threatening my officers. You're threatening my staff. I don't appreciate that. So we're going to cuff you up and we're going to put you in a bubble cell. A bubble cell is basically a cell, but it has this very strong, I don't even want to say it's glass, like clear plastic on it that you can't like throw anything out of. All it has is a cuff port, which is always locked, or should be. And that's the only way you can get your tray. You can give stuff to the officers or whatever, unless the door gets opened. But usually the people in the bubble cells are the worst of the worst. They've attacked staff. They've thrown feces, urine, hot water, or whatever on officers or even other inmates. So they're the worst of the worst of that lockup unit. So he refused to cuff up. And when you refuse a direct order from an officer in the prison, they can spray you. And that's what the sergeant ended up doing. Sergeant ended up hitting his ass with that OC spray, painted his ass like a pumpkin, right? And he went to cuffed him up, took him over to medical. Again, when you get sprayed, you have to go to the medical unit and you have to take a shower to, clean yourself up and stuff like that, or whatever they do with the inmates, because I'm not sure. I just know that they go over there to take a shower. And when he came back, he went to a bubble cell. He wasn't too happy about that. So that's when the racial comments started again. And even after he got sprayed and they were escorting him over there, there's lieutenants, sergeants, all that. He's still being racist. And if you're not black, if you're white, Latino, whatever, you're going to get called an N-word lover. Oh, you love sucking on that black dick, huh? Like, basically saying that you're okay with whatever the black officer, whoever it may have been, is doing, so you're on the same team. So basically you're kissing their ass, even though it's just protocol, how they do shit. So that was very entertaining. And even to this day, he's still on the flag, which again is the bottom floor. And anytime you go past his cell, especially me, because that was my range that night, the insults just start. And I just start laughing. But I don't antagonize him. Like, I don't sit there in front of his cell or anything and antagonize him. Because, that's bogus. I'm pretty sure some officers do, because this shit's probably funny. But I'm not going to do that. But the thing is that the area he's in on the flag, the bubble cell he's in, there's a lot of crazy dudes that's like next to him. And then there's also a couple of gang members that's on that 200 range, like an area right above him and even next, on the same level as him. And they hear him saying all this shit. They want to get on his ass. And that shit is funny to me, because not only are you trying to come after us, you got the other inmates trying to come after you because you're being racist. And you're yelling all times of the night. If you see someone that you don't like, or if someone pisses you off, you just start. Like, when that whole situation happened, that was about 1 a.m. Yeah, I want to say, probably about 1 a.m. People sleep, and you doing all this screaming and hollering and all that. So that's another reason why he can't go to Gym Pop, because he'll start too much shit. His mouth will get him fucked up. His mouth will get him attacked and possibly killed. Because not only are you racist, you also think that no one will whoop your ass because you're an older guy. I've seen 60-year-old dudes in that prison take ass whoopings. Like, so age don't mean shit. Now, I don't know about a motherfucker that's like in a wheelchair or that's on a cane and really can't get around like that. I would hope they wouldn't talk shit anyway, because motherfucker with a cane, you can slap that shit from under him, and the dude in a wheelchair, you pick his ass up and throw him out the chair and shit. So I don't think the handicaps really talk shit like that. They don't get targeted like that I know of. But that's the story, y'all. To this day, he's still over there. He cannot go to Gen Pop because he will get hurt, if not killed, because of his mouth and because of his reputation for being racist. And a good majority of the prison population is African American. They're black. So that racist shit, yeah, it's not going to fly like a cape with a tear in it, bro. So that was my first bad inmate interaction. I did everything right. Like I said, it was entertaining as fuck to me. Other people, it may have pissed them off, because I know, black people who are very sensitive to those type of racial terms and all that. But that shit, it didn't bother me. It was actually funny. Like I said, I actually thanked him, because I'm like, damn, dude, I've been on this earth 27, almost 28 years. This is the first time I've ever got called the N-word with the hard R at the end. So I'm like, hey, man, thank you. First time for everything. And, inmates, they started laughing. Officers started laughing. But I wasn't even trying to be funny. I was legit like, thanks. Like, fuck. Like, I got that out the way. Like, what's next type shit. But that was the story, y'all. That was my first bad inmate interaction. And like I said, it's still funny. I never get mad about that shit. But other officers was like they would have reacted differently. But that also could have caused a lot more bullshit to happen. And you try to keep shit smooth at the same time, you're still the authority figure in the prison or jail. So you got to put your foot down when it needs to be put down, regardless of who it is. But for people like him, he's so fucking goofy. And I can't say too much about him, but it's in his best interest to go ahead and stay in the lockup unit. Because if he goes to Gym Pop, where they get out, man, I give him about a week before someone whoops his ass. Some of the officers and sergeants have given him a day. I like, damn, at least I give him benefit of the doubt, because he might smarten up and learn to shut the fuck up, knowing that all these dudes are going to be out, especially when it comes time for chow, unless they're on lockdown. But, hey, that was my story. I hope y'all enjoyed. Like I said, it was entertaining for me. So if you want to laugh, hey, man, laugh. Like, this shit was funny to me. Like, I understand, like, the racist shit is not really something to play with, but that particular situation was entertaining as fuck to me. And it's still entertaining. I ain't gonna cap. But, like I said, hope y'all enjoyed the story. I want you all to stay safe, stay blessed, stay humble. Thank you for watching the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.
That sound good right there. That sound good right. That sound good right there.